You didn't want to do the show. And you had a good time, so...
I had a nice time. Well, see, sometimes it works that way. Thank you. Sometimes it works that way. That is mudgy gold. Oh, look, I've wrinkled me late item. Has this been checked? Yes. How many sauces? One! Name it.
Yes.
Quite a large nut on the end there.
Sitting right on the end.
A leading women's magazine did a survey on Bondi Beach recently, just talking about Bondi Beach, interviewing men about their love lives. One handsome, suntanned muscle man was asked how many girls he'd dated in the last year. 2, he said. That's not many for a good-looking bloke like you, replied the interviewer. He said, no, but it's not bad for a Catholic priest with no car. Good night. A Coffs Harbour man is suing his next-door neighbour in the small claims court because his neighbour's chihuahua killed his grand champion Doberman. When the judge said that's ridiculous, how could a little chihuahua kill a great big Doberman, the man replied, it got stuck in his throat. Good night. Really? I was disqualified. Underwater hockey. I was disqualified from playing underwater hockey once for doing number 1 in the pool.
Lots of people do that.
Not from the top diving board. We must ask you now not to laugh. Ken has an intro coming up, which I'm glad I'm not doing. Mangos is thrilled. Because Ken has to use a word here that I've never heard him use before.
But it's used in the right text, and it is absolutely legit.
Stiff upper lip.
Now the story of a unique team of Victorians, a squad quite proud to be known as the Mass Debaters.
A Brisbane woman is suing her doctor for improper conduct.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
Massage parlour employee, can't read the name, Sally Johnson, told the court that when she visited the doctor, he told her to get undressed without even asking what her complaint was. She said he then touched her breasts and said, you know what I'm doing? And she replied, yes, you're checking for lumps in my mammary glands. He then started to make love to her, and he said, do you know what I'm doing now? Oh. At which point she said, of course I do. You're catching what I came in here to get rid of. Now, at Kirribilli, you'd be surprised.
The Japanese down the front again?
Oh, not only Japanese, but people from all... Many Australians are inclined to use the foreshore late at night at Kirribilli for a progress of a different nature. And there I am with the binoculars. And I think, really, I mean, it's so inconsiderate. My binoculars are too heavy to hold in one hand. You're having a cup of tea, trying to focus at the same time, and the hot tea slops into your lens.
Put your 2 hands in the face on this.
I love it when we both cry.
Can we go back to the start, please?
Ken, 12 months ago you wouldn't have done that. I'm glad that you're doing it, though.
I probably wouldn't.
Would you like to abandon this item? Or, no, start again.
We might as well go again.
Ken. It really does start with 3 Ken. Ken. Leave before you are completely corrupted. We don't make these up. I mean, if we made these up, we wouldn't even read them because it would be pointless. This actually happened last night. Ken. Leave before you are completely corrupted. A mudgy boy making jokes about masturbation.
I did not.
He didn't make any.
I did not.
We haven't made any jokes about it.
I did not. I just passive observer.
Well, you'll be in at the same time, Ken? We haven't done any jokes about that. She goes on to say it's more than a body can bear. I've never found that. Service station owners around Australia have hailed the opening of a new garage in St Kilda, that's where I was born, as the beginning of a new era in customer service. The biggest innovation is in the drive-away service, where the motorists will be served by gorgeous, topless girls. A few minutes ago, the owner said that so far they had not sold any more petrol than usual, but they were cleaning a record number of windscreens. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. I think what worries me about astrology and eclipses, there are groups of people. That kind of thing usually brings out all those weird sorts of religious mobs.
Cults.
Oh, they're not so bad.
I read that if Jimmy Baker does go to prison, Tammy will be able to visit him with conjugal rights.
Oh, blimey, hasn't the poor bastard suffered enough?
We had a lot of reaction to the story about the company trying to recall condoms.
I beg your pardon?
Recall condoms.
Of course I recall condoms. Little rubber things that leave a ring in your wallet. What about them?
Well, remember this?
The batch number is shown on the outer packet, whilst the individual foil sachet does not have the batch number. Like as if you'd be looking for that at that moment. Look at the thing. No. Is it on the foil? I don't know whether it's on the foil. Yes, I do remember that. But at no time did I say, return them to us. Don't say. I meant to the factory, to the silent partner people, not to us. I mean, we've got enough in the office now for the next two. The next two Channel 9 Christmas parties. I tell you, there's enough to go around all cottages. Many worried viewers have been ringing to know the batch numbers of the faulty frangers, and it's amazing how many of them, when they ring, are out of breath.
But if you are worried about your recreational rubberware...
About your what?
Recreational rubberware.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
Well, here's a new home testing kit you can buy.
Is that a late item? Has this been checked?
Yeah.
How many sauces? Name it.
Kumquat.
That's what you say when you want a quat to come to you. No, that's the direction for asking a quat to approach you. What else would you say? Kumquat, you say? The little quat comes up. These are something you slip on, and they wouldn't recycle them because, well, you wouldn't. I think you're meant to take them, don't you? I've got another one. Look, I'll show you. Don't you really like it? Truly, don't you like it?
Well, I'm not crazy about it, but I think you might have shoved one of them down the front of your job.
Oh, no, I'll tell you, that's snow. It's more of that.
Now here's
May I read
one that I think you should read.
This is from Mortdale in New South Wales. A caption, and it's in quote marks. And so, Richard, I believe you are managing director of your own company. Is it a big firm, Dick? Oh, well, I see. Hang on. Silly. Hang on. I believe you are the managing director of your own company. Is it a big firm, comma, Dick? No, that's not right.
Here's one.
They're terrible. There is nothing worse than a vulgar blonde with 4 eyebrows trying to be cute.
She seemed to be surprised at the allegations of Jimmy being a homosexual.
I'm not if she's the alternative. No, I've only had body parasites twice. Once in once in national service, and if all goes well, tomorrow morning. I've got a terrific crab story.
Tell it.
What?
Tell it. Go
How
on.
much will you give me?
I'm not going to give you
Once
any.
upon a time, there was a handsome young crab who wanted to marry a lobster princess. But her father, the lobster king, said, "Crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight. Until the crab..." There's a special lobster talk I'm doing. "Until crabs learn to walk straight, he cannot marry my daughter." Well, Ken. The very next night, the palace door suddenly burst open and the handsome crab walked straight as a die, up to the lobster king, threw a claw around his shoulder and said, "Boy, am I pissed." A breach of... Hang on now. You did. Good night.